Hello and welcome to Wrestling in 1985, Episode 7, and on this episode I will be talking about All Japan Pro Wrestling. And as usual, I will be starting in January of 1985. The champions going into 1985 are the PWF Heavyweight Champion Giant Baba, the NWA International Heavyweight Champion Jumbo Tsuruta, the NWA United National Champion Genichiro Tenryu, the NWA International Junior Heavyweight Champion Mighty Inoue, the PWF Tag Team Champions Bruiser Brody and Stan Hansen, the NWA International Tag Team Champions Jumbo Tsuruta and Genichiro Tenryu, and the All Asia Tag Team Championships are vacant. The first tour of the year would start on January 2nd. This was the 1985 Gekito All-Star Wars Tour. It would last until February 5th. One of the big storylines for All Japan in 1985 is the top stars feuding with Riki Choshu's Ishin Gundam. Riki Choshu had left New Japan Pro Wrestling in 1984 and jumped to the rival All Japan. The first title match of the year would happen on February 3rd, and it was for the vacant All Asia Tag Team titles. Ishin Gundam members Animal Hamaguchi and Isamu Teranishi battled Masanobu Fuchi and Takashi Ishikawa to a double countout. The All Asia Tag Team titles would remain vacant. On the final day of the tour, Giant Baba would successfully defend his PWF Heavyweight title versus Tiger Jeet Singh. The next tour would start on February 22nd. On March 9th, Jumbo Tsuruta and Genichiro Tenryu successfully defended the NWA International Tag Team titles in a best 2 out of 3 falls match versus the Road Warriors. On March 11th, Mighty Inoue successfully defended the NWA International Junior Heavyweight Championship versus Chavo Guerrero. On the final day of the tour, the main event would be for the AWA World Tag Team titles as the champions, the Road Warriors, battled Ishin Gundam members Killer Khan and Riki Choshu to a double countout. The next tour would begin on March 29th. On April 12th, Genichiro Tenryu would successfully defend his NWA United National title versus Killer Khan after Killer Khan got disqualified. On April 15th, Akio Sato and Takashi Ishikawa beat Animal Hamaguchi and Masanobu Kurisu by countout to win the vacant All Asia Tag Team titles. That same night, the main event would see Giant Baba successfully defend the PWF Heavyweight title versus Stan Hansen after Stan Hansen got himself disqualified. On April 17th, Jumbo Tsuruta successfully defended the NWA International Heavyweight title versus Dick Slater. On April 23rd, Riki Choshu challenged Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight title. The match would end in a double countout. The next tour would begin on May 17th. On June 4th, Jumbo Tsuruta beat Terry Gordy by countout to successfully defend his NWA International Heavyweight title. On June 6th, Genichiro Tenryu beat Yoshiaki Yatsu by countout to successfully defend the NWA United National title. On June 8th, the Dynamite Kid beat Mighty Inoue to win the NWA International Junior Heavyweight title. On June 13th, Kuniaki Kobayashi beat the Dynamite Kid to win the NWA International Junior Heavyweight title. On June 21st, at the All Japan Special Wars in Budokan, Kuniaki Kobayashi beat Tiger Mask to successfully defend the NWA International Junior Heavyweight title. Under the Tiger Mask was Mitsuharu Misawa. Also that night, Genichiro Tenryu beat Riki Choshu by disqualification in a non-title match, and the main event would see Giant Baba beat Rusher Kimura to successfully defend the PWF Heavyweight title. The next tour would kick off on June 28th. Kuniaki Kobayashi's next title defense would be on July 8th when he beat Steve Regal to successfully defend. On July 18th, Animal Hamaguchi and Isamu Teranishi beat Akio Sato and Takashi Ishikawa to win the All Asia Tag Team titles. On July 29th, Jumbo Tsuruta and Genichiro Genichiro Tenryu successfully defended the NWA International Tag Team titles, beating Stan Hansen and Texas Red. On July 30th, Stan Hansen beat Giant Baba to win the PWF Heavyweight title. On August 31st, Tiger Mask beat Kuniaki Kobayashi to win the NWA International Junior Heavyweight title. The main event that night would see Stan Hansen and Ted DiBiase beat Genichiro Tenryu and Jumbo Tsuruta to successfully defend the PWF Tag Team titles. DiBiase was replacing Bruiser Brody, who had left All Japan to join New Japan. On September 7th, Genichiro Tenryu defended the NWA United National title versus Tiger Jeet Singh. The match would end in a double countout. On September 14th, Genichiro Tenryu and Jumbo Tsuruta successfully defended the International Tag Team titles versus Killer Khan and Yoshiaki Yatsu. On September 19th, the NWA International Heavyweight title would be on the line as champion Jumbo Tsuruta battled Harley Race to a double countout. On October 4th, the Champions Carnival Tour would start. On October 21st, the main event would be for both the NWA and AWA World Heavyweight titles as Ric Flair battled Rick Martel to a double countout. On October 28th, Tiger Mask successfully defended the International Junior Heavyweight title versus Chavo Guerrero. On October 31st, Mighty Inoue and Takashi Ishikawa beat Isamu Teranishi and Norio Honaga to win the All Asia Tag Team titles. Norio Honaga was replacing Animal Hamaguchi. With the tour's name being Champions Carnival, I was surprised there was no tournament during this tour. The final tour of the year would be the All Japan Real World Tag League. Stan Hansen and Ted DiBiase would win the Real World Tag League this year with 7 points. The final match of the tour would see Riki Choshu and Yoshiaki Yatsu versus Stan Hansen and Ted DiBiase. It would go to a 30-minute time limit draw. And that's the story of All Japan Pro Wrestling in 1985. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you next week.